and his sustained progress. When Rasulullah ultimately migrated to Medina al-Munawwara, I presented myself before him and asked, "O Prophet of Allah, do you remember me?" Rasulullah replied, "Of course, you are the person who approached me whilst I was in Mecca during the earlier times of Islam." I responded, "Yes, I am the same person. O Prophet of Allah, teach me something." Now is Islam of Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu narrates that when Abu Dharr Ghifari radiallahu anhu learned of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam prophethood, he requested his brother Yunais to proceed to Mecca, saying, "Travel to Mecca and gather some information about this man who claims that he is the messenger of Allah Ta'ala and that divine revelation descends upon him from the heavens. Also listen to his discourse." In accordance with Abu Dharr's proposal, Yunais came to Mecca, met with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and returned home. When asked by Abu Dharr what information he returned with, Yunais replied, "When I landed in Mecca, I found some people referring to him as a fraud or a sorcerer, whilst others referred to him as a soothsayer or poet. By Allah, he is definitely not a poet or a soothsayer." Yunais himself was a celebrated poet. This is why he remarked, "I have heard the speech of soothsayers, but the discourses of this man does not bear any resemblance to the speech of soothsayers. I also appraised his discourses on poetical scales, but I realized that it is not even poetry. By Allah, this man is truthful and honest." He also declared, "رأيته يأمر بالخير وينهي عن الشر ورأيته يأمر بمكارم الأخلاق وسمعة الكلام ما هو بالشعر." I have only witnessed him enjoining good and restraining evil. I have observed him bidding good character, and I have heard his discourse, which is definitely not poetry. On hearing this report, Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu submitted, "I am not completely convinced. Perhaps Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu aspired to listen to additional details about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Such sketchy and condensed information was probably not sufficient for him. This is why he took some provisions and a water bag and set out for Mecca by himself. Through directions of Ali radiallahu anhu, he reached Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and after listening to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam firsthand, he embraced Islam. He immediately thereafter proceeded to the Haram and publicly proclaimed his conversion to Islam. The infidels thrashed him so severely that he fell to the ground. The intervention of Abbas radiallahu anhu barely saved him from further beating. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam advised him to return home and apprise his people about this message of Islam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam counseled him to return only when he hears of the Muslims' dominance. Subsequently, he returned home, where both brothers invited their mother to embrace Islam. She very enthusiastically embraced his Islam. He later invited his people, the Ghifar tribe, towards Islam. Half of them accepted Islam there and then. Assembly